Greetings, everyone. This is Ellen Red, Twin Flame and Ascension Guide. For those of you who are trying to reach me, you can contact me at ellenred.com or twinflameinitiates.com. I'm coming on today to talk about does one twin flame awaken before the other twin flame? And this is a really common part of the twin flame journey and a common question. And it's a good question. And obviously, it's not a question that's easy to answer because it's got a lot of different elements to it. On one hand, twin souls share the same soul. So when they have an awakening, it causes an activation on a soul level that affects both of them. So in reality, they both awaken at the same time to some level. Unfortunately, it's not as easy as that. Obviously, all of the spiritual work that we're doing, it's really not just an easy fix. It's really requires a lot of devotion and a lot of work and a lot of soul work and trying to understand things. But when you're in the twin flame journey and it feels like one twin flame is awakened before the other, it's really, in some regards, an illusion because the masculine and feminine elements of the soul are polarity. They're polar opposites in certain ways. And so it may seem that one's more awakened than the other, and in some ways they may be. But one may be perceiving things from one perspective, and the other may be perceiving things from the other perspective. On a deep soul level, they have the awakening at the same time because they share the same soul. So when a spark happens or an awakening happens or an activation happens on a soul level, that's happening for both the masculine and the feminine. As far as how to then integrate what you're going to go through in that twin flame journey, that's where it can seem like one's more awakened than the other. And in some ways, one may be aware that the other one is their twin flame before the other one realizes it, even though they both had an activation and started to recognize the twin flame resonance. So that can take a lot of work, and that's really what Gamos and alchemy is about, is going through that journey of both polar opposites or masculine and feminine polarities, perceiving things from their own realities and then trying to make amends in the middle. So eventually they come together as they work through all of those other distortions. Sometimes a twin soul will realize that the other partner is their mate, while the other one might be feeling the resonance of twin flames, but be focused on a different person who's not the actual twin flame. And that's really, really, really common, especially at this time in our Great Awakening, that there's so many people that are starting to feel the resonance of an awakening and the soul recognition of just remembering who they are. In remembering that they have a twin flame, they're feeling the resonance of the language of the twin flames, and but they might be focused on the wrong person and feeling that that's their twin flame when it's really somebody else. And a lot of times that can happen, and because you're really dealing with deep layers of your soul, deep layers of remembrance, deep layers of programming and conditioning that you have to work through, both the masculine and the feminine coming from different backgrounds and having different layers of false programs that they have to work through. So it requires a lot of alchemy and a lot of Gamos. And once the two finally realize that they are, for each other, then that's really the essence of what the twin flames are. They're not made for one to be chasing someone else and having, triangular situations. They are meant to honor the holy union. And so if you're focused on a twin flame and you feel that you're awakened and they're not, then I would recommend that you hold in your heart space unconditional love for them, because that's really what the twin flame journey is about, is unconditional love. And so you can send them love through your heart center and hold space for where they are in their consciousness. and send love to them so that they can feel your energy and feel the love that you have for them, and then honor their journey and the fact that they're going to have to work through things in their own time. And that's really what happens with a lot of twin flames also, is that, both of them end up needing to really hold a lot of space for one another, because both are working through extraordinary circumstances depending on everybody's soul journey. But especially for twin flames, they oftentimes will choose difficult paths to really help awaken them, which is how they meet. But then they also have a lot of purging work to do to heal and clear energies that, are standing in the way of that union. So if you're feeling like you're the runner, or you're the chaser, or whatever, both really need to just hold space for one another, honor where you're at in your journey, and honor the union itself. Because again, love, as it's unconditional, doesn't mean that your twin flame counterpart has to behave the way that you want them to behave. It's really not designed to be that way. It's really, love is unconditional, and that means that even if they are focused elsewhere, that if you truly love them, you're going to honor that that's where they are, and respect the choices that they make, because sometimes the twin flames will make choices that are maybe outside of that union, but they need to do it for whatever reason, for their own evolution. And so the more that you can hold space for their evolution, and know your truth, and hold space for yourself, and honor your own self as well, then you're going to have a more peaceful journey, because what's meant for you will be for you, and what's not will fall away. And if you know with all of your heart and soul that that's your divine counterpart, then you just need to be able to handle, loving them unconditionally, regardless of whether their behavior is what you want it to be. Because that's, a lot of twin flames go through extraordinarily difficult situations, including with each other, at least in the journey before they come together. Because most of them are introduced on a soul level before they physically meet, and they go through these things on a soul level. It's not necessarily you came together and you broke up. If you're having that experience in a 3D paradigm, it's most likely that you haven't quite yet met your true twin flame, even though you may have the resonance of twin flame with that party. But oftentimes the twin flames are going through this work through the higher dimensions before they physically meet, so that when they finally realize that they're both each other's twin flame, they can come together in the physical world without harming the union of love. And so that's the work that needs to be done on a soul level. Hopefully this helps. And if you have any questions, again, my name is Ellen Red. I'm an Ascension Guide and Twin Flame Coach. I am the creator of Twin Flame Initiates.